What's going on, everybody? I'm Leezy the Gifted, and I'm going to talk about how to be more productive. I'm going to just jump straight into it. If you like this video, at the end, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and like the video, and throw a comment. You know, I like to discuss stuff with people. So what I have here in my hands, if you're listening on the podcast, you can't see, but I'll describe it. It is called the Productivity Planner, and it's something you can actually go buy on Amazon. You don't have to buy it. I'm going to explain the way it works. I got recommended to get this from a guy named Adam Ivy, who I watch very closely. I'm in his Sell Music Masterclass. It's super dope. Anyway, so the way this productivity, and you know, usually I'm not into buying planners or buying journals like that. I usually like to just grab a composition book and just kind of, you know, use it. And for those of you who don't know, I use a system called the Power List. And this productivity planner is actually kind of going to go really well. Now, the Power List I got from a guy named Andy Frisella from the MFCEO Project. If you've not checked out his podcast, you need to go listen. Click any episode. You'll like it, I guarantee. But he talked about a system where every day you come up with 5 critical tasks that you have to get done for that day. If you get all 5 things done, you've won the day. If you get 4 or 3 or less, you gotta write an L. You lost the day. I've been using that system for all 2018 and all this year, 2019 as well. And it's worked wonders, and I've progressed a lot because of that system. And usually I'm not into buying stuff to help with that because it's a simple system. You don't need to buy anything. But Adam Ivy, a guy who I really respect, if you go look up his YouTube channel, you'll see what I mean. He's a dope dude. He recommended that I get this. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go buy this thing. It's called the Productivity Planner. It's a product by these people called Intelligent Change. Again, usually I think this stuff's kind of corny, but I decided to buy it. It's pretty dope. I like this system, and I want to break it down for you. So essentially, the way this thing works, okay, so bear with me with some of the corny terminology, but so here's how this works. So they in the planner, they talk about using a technique called the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique. You know, it kind of reminds me of a story. You know, my favorite restaurant used to be Pasta Pomodoro, and they closed down the entire franchise suddenly, and it was really sad. Anyway. So how to use the Pomodoro effect. So basically what you do is decide on a clear task you want to focus on that'll take you at least 25 minutes. Use, start a timer for 25 minutes working on the task. This time block is known as a Pomodoro, so stay with me. A Pomodoro is a 25-minute block of time. I know if this sounds corny, please bear with me because I'm using it and it works. So a Pomodoro is an individual unit of time. You can never do half a Pomodoro. Do not work on anything else. If you get distracted, gently bring yourself back to work. It happens, relax. But if your distraction pulls you away from the task at hand, cancel the Pomodoro by resetting the timer to 0. Over time, this technique will condition you to focus exclusively on the task at hand and will increase your productivity and discipline. Once the timer ends, time for a mini celebration. Get up and stretch, get some water, do a happy dance. You have 5 minutes of break until you start the next Pomodoro. And then in the next page, it basically says, like, don't pull out your phone and start messing around on social media or whatever. Use that 5-minute break to go relax. So let's break this down again. You take a task and you say, and then later on, you know, basically later on, it's going to show how to break your tasks down. But like basically the way it works is you take a task, okay? For me, let's say if you're an artist or a rapper or producer, right? Let's say your task is write lyrics to new song, right? Think in your head, how long is that going to take? Is it going to take you 25 minutes, 50 minutes, 75 minutes? Let's just say it takes you 50 minutes, okay? Or an hour. What you would do is you would write on your productivity journal like this thing, or you could literally use another notebook, write lyrics to song. Then what you do is you're going to write next to it 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. Each one of those circles represents an increment of 25 minutes. Okay? So you're going to write it. On the left, you're going to write how much time you are expecting it to take, and then once you're finished, you're going to write how much time did it actually take. So let's say it's write lyrics to song, and then you've got your 5 circles, and you think it's going to take 1 Pomodoro, 1 increment of 25 minutes, right? So you write it down, you write the number 1 next to it, then let's say it takes you 50 minutes. Let's say your timer ends on your phone, right? And the 25 minutes is over and you're like, crap, I'm not done writing the song. You get up, take a 5-minute break, stretch, get some water, get a snack, come back, set your timer for another 25 minutes, and it takes you another 25 minutes. So it took you 2 Pomodoros. That's okay. You assumed it would take 1, but it took 2. Color in 2 Pomodoros, 2 of them, and then write the number 2, check that off your list. You got a task done. Now, the way I do it is different from the way the journal is recommending. The journal is recommending this. Basically what it says is, take a task, 1 task, that if you finish that 1 task, you would feel good about your day. You finish that task, you're good. Then it says, keep your task list between 3 to 5 tasks. Don't go any more. Don't go any more than that. I'm using it differently. I'm using it and coinciding it with my power list. So I'm still keeping if you don't get 5 things done, you lose the day. So I'm combining both. Now, that principle goes against this book. This book is saying, if you don't get all the things done, if you got that 1 thing done for the day, feel good about yourself, be happy, perfection is overrated. I completely disagree. Now, you can do it that way, but I disagree. Andy Frisella has said, you got to hold yourself to a high standard. We live in a society right now where everybody just says they're confident and blah, 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 and you need to earn it. I agree with that. I don't think that you should just give yourself credit for doing 1 thing. I think that you should push yourself and work to get 5 things done. 5 is enough. If you try to get 10 things done, you're screwed. Because you're not, let's say one day you get 10 things done. Let's say you're that overachiever. You know what? I'm going to get 10 things done. I can do it. You're not going to be able to go very long. You could probably do that for 1 day, maybe 2, maybe 3 days. Maybe you go for 14 days. After those 14 days, you're burnt out and you're going to need to take a break or a vacation, and you're not going to be consistent. You're going to need a day off. If you do 5 things every day and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do 5 things. I don't need to do 10. I don't need to do 20. I just need to do 5. If you finish those 5 things and it's 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., guess what? You just won the day. You're done for the rest of the day. The reason that I like the productivity planner method of breaking things down into 25 increments, it keeps you focused. For me, I could get a certain task done pretty quick, or it could take me an hour or 2. But when I don't break it down into 25-minute increments, I get kind of distracted. I grab my phone to take a break. I don't really get the job done, right? But let's say you got 5 things, and maybe a couple of them take 25 minutes, like 3 of them take 25 minutes, and 2 of them take an hour. You're going to work between 1 to 3 hours a day, or 1 to 4 hours a day, and that's it. And then you're done for the day. This system and what I'm talking about is not about working as much as possible. It's about working as smart as you can. You have to work smart. And it sucks because we kind of live in a world right now where we live in, especially in the entrepreneurial space, we live in this world where we hear grind hard, grind all day, every day. You know? That's kind of what we hear. And we think we need to work 10, 12, 15 hours a day. Look, if you can do that, great. But it's really hard to sustain that for a long period of time. So think about this. Take a person who works 12 hours a day. Or let's say 10. Take an entrepreneur who's grinding on their business for 10 hours a day. Chances are they're going to last 3 to 4 or 5 days without taking a day off. 3, 4, 5 days without taking a day off. And they're going to need a break. And then they might take, I'm burnt out. Maybe after 30 days of doing that, they're completely burnt out. But then you take the person, that's very likely that would happen. But then you take the person who goes, I'm going to just do 5 things on my list every day. You probably work 2 to 4 or 5 hours a day, maybe. Honestly, likely that you work 2 to 4 hours a day. That person who works 2 to 4 hours a day and then spends the rest of their day relaxing or doing what they love or spending time with the people they love, you know what that person's going to do? They're going to work nonstop because they kind of get days off every day. That's honestly the way I've been living. Like, I'll take a Sunday or a Saturday off or a Saturday, Sunday off because I got to go coach basketball or I'm going to go take a trip with my girlfriend. But I'm never burnt out. Like, I work every single day. I do my tasks every day. And I'm not feeling burnt out. And guess how long I've been going? 2 years. I haven't taken more than... I took a vacation over the summer for like 10 days. But since then, I haven't really taken that many days off. Why? And why? Because I don't try to get 10 hours of work in every day. I get 2 to 4 to 5 hours. And if you look at the span of a year, I probably get more done than somebody who tries to work 10 hours a day. And I recommend the same to you. You don't need to work hella hours every single day. You don't need to do that. All you need to do, grab the tasks you got to do, write them down and say, I'm going to spend 50 minutes on this task, but it's going to be in 50 minutes of uninterrupted work. I am not going to stop. No phone, no laptop, no TV, no YouTube videos, no distractions. Me, my work, my task. Then by the end of 50 minutes, you might have gotten something done that's like, wow, that only took an hour? I thought it was going to take 2, 3, 4 hours. Now, trying to decide what tasks to do. You got to take a task. The reason that this method that's in this planner is so good is because you need to take a task that you're kind of scared to do, that you've been procrastinating a lot. That should be the task that you do first. And I know that sucks, and there's different methods. Some people say get the easy stuff done first so you feel confident. Blah, blah, blah. I hate that method. Take the thing that's hardest. Take the thing you don't want to do. Like, if you have a beat and you've been procrastinating writing to that beat, be like, you know what? Today's going to be that day. I'm spending 50 minutes. I'm writing to that beat no matter what. You're going to be like, wow, I actually got it done. And this is actually a good quote for creative people. I want to get it perfectly right. And I'm going to honestly, I'm going to make another podcast about this. It's from Stephen King. It's a really, 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 really good quote. Hold on, I really need to find it. It was something like, here we go. This is a quote from Stephen King. I think it's really important, especially for artists and producers. Stephen King, by the way, one of the best, a really, really, really popular author. He writes like scary, like murder, I don't know, I don't know what he writes, like mystery novels and stuff. Super popular though. This is his quote. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. I agree with this. Like, if you're an artist or a producer and you're in that point where you're like, well, you know, I need to wait for inspiration to come to me. You know, I need to wait for the right moment to write to this beat. You're honestly fooling yourself and you're lying to yourself. I can tell you from my perspective, I agree with Stephen King. I don't think, okay, I'm going to write lyrics when I'm comfortable and ready. I don't do that. I go, okay, I'm going to write to this beat, and guess what? I write to the beat and I make a freaking song. And if I can't write to the beat, you know what I go and do? I'm going to go make another beat. All right, fine. I can't use that beat. I'm going to spend this time to make a new beat that I could write to, and then I start writing to that beat. Like, there's just no excuses. You got to get into that mindset of no excuse, I'm getting things done. I have to be productive. If you want to be serious about your music career, or you're an entrepreneur and you want to be serious about actually building your business and building your brand, you got to get rid of the excuses of, oh, I need to wait till it comes to me, or use this plan. I recommend you buy this planner. Honestly, if you don't want to buy this planner, don't buy the planner. Get a freaking notebook. Use the same tactic that I just explained, all right? Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you like this. I hope you like the video. If you're on the podcast, I appreciate you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video. If you're on the podcast, do me a favor. go leave a rating on the iTunes store. It would really mean a lot to me. Appreciate you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day and have an amazing rest of your week. Peace.